So for the second time this month, House Republicans will attempt to elect a speaker. Ohio Congressman and Trump ally Jim Jordan is the leading candidate now, and he's been steadily picking up more support ahead of today's vote. Nikole Killion is on Capitol Hill with the latest on Jordan's path to the speakership. It's a bumpy one. Nikole, good morning.
Yeah, well, as it has been throughout this entire process, Anne-Marie, but, this really comes down to numbers because the Republican majority is so slim. Congressman Jordan can only afford to lose 4 votes. And even though he tells us he feels very good about his support, this could easily go multiple rounds.
2 weeks after Kevin McCarthy's ouster, a paralyzed House will try again to fill the void with Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan.
We got to come together as a conference, or we can't open the Congress. And we can't open the Congress until we get a speaker. So we need to get a speaker as soon as possible. That's what we're focused on.
Jordan mounted a full court press during a meeting Monday night after flipping several key holdouts.
He's assured me that members like me and the people I represent will have a voice at the table.
But not all Republicans are convinced.
If he will force this vote to the floor with people objecting, I will not vote for Jim.
An ally of former President Donald Trump, Jordan chairs the House Judiciary Committee, helping to lead the impeachment inquiry against President Biden.
The Biden Justice Department tries to sweep it all under the rug.
Some Democrats have labeled him a far-right extremist, while former D.C. police officer Michael Fanone, who was beaten on January 6, called him an insurrectionist and an election denier for objecting to the 2020 results.
I've never said this election was stolen. All I've said is, let's check it out.
Colorado's Ken Buck says he wants more clarity around Jordan's position before deciding whether he'll support.
If he's going to lead this conference during a presidential election cycle, and particularly a presidential election year with primaries and caucuses around the country, is going to have to be strong and say, Donald Trump didn't win the election, and we need to move forward.
If things don't go Jordan's way, at least one Republican lawmaker is circulating a resolution that could empower the acting speaker, Patrick McHenry, to keep serving through next month. Anne-Marie?
So, it's no surprise that perhaps Democrats are not going to be a big fan of Jim Jordan. He's not going to get any Democratic votes. But I'm curious about why there are some Republicans that are still holdouts. What are their concerns when it comes to a speaker, Jim Jordan?
Well, again, there's just a lot of bad blood from how this entire process went down. For instance, you have a moderate like Don Bacon, who told reporters just yesterday that he doesn't want to reward bad behavior, if you will, not necessarily on the part of Jordan, but just in terms of the process. He says the rules were broken and that Kevin McCarthy got ousted. Then, they voted for Steve Scalise, went through the proper procedures, only for him to kind of be forced out in the view of some lawmakers. So, in terms of Bacon, he's like, well, then why should we support this guy? At some point we kind of have to stand up. Other, lawmakers have differing reasons. Some of it is just differences on fiscal matters, whether that's how Jordan may handle, government funding in the next couple of weeks, whether it's the issue of Ukraine funding. So there are also some policy differences as well.
Before this process even started, the big question was, how vulnerable is the next speaker to exactly what happened with Kevin McCarthy, right? Particularly because of the rules change that allows for a single member to start this process. So even if the speaker doesn't lose their position, it still kind of gums up, the business on Capitol Hill for a while. At this point, I guess it isn't clear whether or not there's anyone who can unite the party long term. But is the next speaker, just as vulnerable as Kevin McCarthy?
Well, I think Jim Jordan tried to address that in a Dear Colleagues letter. He told members that what unites us as a conference is greater than what divides us. He also encouraged his members to stop attacking one another and that really this is the time to come together. He does seem to be softening his position a little bit with respect to, for instance, potentially maybe considering attaching Ukraine funding to any type of aid package for Israel, which is something that some members support. So even though he typically has been more of a conservative hardliner, he is showing a willingness to work down the middle. But again, if that's going to be enough to satisfy some moderates kind of remains to be seen.
So one of Jim Jordan's most notable supporters is, of course, the former President Donald Trump. I guess there's something to that, but, you know, Kevin McCarthy was a big supporter of Donald Trump. Steve Scalise, also a big supporter of Donald Trump. So, I mean, it certainly looks as if the only way to be a contender is to make sure that, you know, Donald Trump supports you and you support Donald Trump. Does it make much of a difference to have the former president backing him up, or could that backfire?
Well, certainly, you know, I think Jordan sees it as a boost, and he continues to be very close to the former president, talks to him on a regular basis, and, you know, many members acknowledge that he is still the head of the Republican Party. That being said, you know, it is more of a finer line to walk for some of these members who were elected in swing districts, you know, and that is a concern. I mean, keep in mind that Jordan is not as prolific a fundraiser as Kevin McCarthy, even as Steve Scalise. So that is a big question going forward as we approach the 2024 election.
Very interesting, Nikole. Thank you.